October 28, 1927. Juan Tripp stood at an airport in Florida. 28 years old. A young entrepreneur fresh out of Yale University. Before him sat a single aircraft, a Fokker F-7 trimotor. This will connect the world. Everyone laughed. Air travel? Too dangerous. International routes? Never profitable. But Tripp saw something they didn't. The skies would change everything. That day, American Airways' first scheduled passenger flight took off for Havana, Cuba. The distance, approximately 90 miles. Flight time at the time, roughly 1 hour. But this single hour changed aviation history forever. Tripp's ambition didn't stop there. He spread out a world map and asked a question. Why must we cross oceans by ship? November 1935. Pan Am's flying boat, the Martin China Clipper, opened the Clipper route connecting San Francisco to Manila via Pacific Islands. Flight distance, approximately 8,000 miles. Depending on stops and conditions, the journey took several days. Until then, sea routes took several weeks depending on the line. The flying boat route cut this to just days. 1939. Pan Am launched transatlantic passenger service using flying boats. American wings began covering the skies of the world. The 1950s. Pan Am became more than just an airline. The hotel in the sky. That's what people called it. First-class cabins featured leather seats. On white tablecloths, silver cutlery. Champagne was poured, caviar was served. The finest service in the sky? That was Pan Am's philosophy. Flight attendants, then called stewardesses, held a coveted profession. Blue uniforms. White gloves. Perfect smiles. The symbol of elite women who traveled the world. Hiring was extremely selective, by all accounts. When people saw the Pan Am logo, they dreamed. Someday, I want to fly on that plane. April 13, 1966. Tripp made the biggest gamble of his life. Boeing headquarters. A contract lay on the conference table. Boeing 747-25 aircraft. According to reports at the time, this was a multi-hundred-million-dollar mass order. A decision that bet Pan Am's entire operation. The Boeing 747. A giant double-decker passenger jet. Passenger capacity, up to 550. More than double any previous airliner. A beast no one had ever built before. Pan Am's board members whisper, "This risk is too great." But Tripp replied, "Without great risk, there is no great future." He picked up the pen and signed. Pan Am opened the door to the jumbo jet era. But beyond that door, a trial no one anticipated was waiting. January 22, 1970. New York's Kennedy Airport. The Boeing 747, christened Clipper Young America, departed on its first commercial flight. Passengers, 362. Destination, London Heathrow Airport. The press swarmed the airport. The world watched the Queen of the Skies take her maiden flight. On this day, air travel changed. Until then, international flights belonged only to the wealthy. But the 747 enabled mass transportation. Mass transportation made it easier to lower per-seat costs, and combined with competition, this laid the foundation for falling fares. The middle class began traveling overseas. College students started backpacking around the world. Pan Am democratized air travel. But Tripp didn't know that this success would eventually kill the company. October 1973. The Middle East war erupted, and OPEC raised crude oil prices. Aviation fuel prices skyrocketed several times over in a short period. Tripp stared at the reports. The Boeing 747 flew on giant wings, but those wings consumed massive amounts of fuel. Varying greatly by route and conditions, long-haul international flights could consume hundreds of thousands of liters of fuel, more than 3 times previous airliners. When fuel costs multiplied, 747 operating costs went through the roof. Pan Am's operating profits rapidly shrank. In 1974, the company fell into the red for the first time. Tripp sank deep into his chair. Was the bet wrong? But the crisis he faced wasn't limited to this. October 24, 1978. President Jimmy Carter picked up his pen. Airline Deregulation Act. This signature transformed America's skies. Until then, the airline industry operated under strict government regulation. Routes and fares were government determined. Competition was limited. Pan Am was invincible on international routes. But deregulation changed everything. New entry became free. Fair competition began. Southwest Airlines, People Express. Low-cost carriers entered the market one after another. They were simple. Short-haul routes. Low fares. Efficiency-focused. Pan Am was a giant of international routes. But its domestic feeder network was weak, making it difficult to build a strong hub-and-spoke system like major U.S. carriers. Collecting passengers on domestic routes and connecting them to international flights. This hub-and-spoke model became the aviation industry's new standard. Pan Am missed this wave. The 1980s. Pan Am entered the domestic market. But too late. American Airlines made Dallas its hub. Delta Airlines dominated Atlanta. United Airlines controlled Chicago and San Francisco. Pan Am acquired national airlines to secure hubs. But integration chaos increased costs instead. Aircraft standardization. Union coordination. Corporate culture integration. Everything failed. 1985. Pan Am's market share fell to less than half what it was 10 years earlier. The once world's largest airline dropped to fifth place domestically. The board panicked. We have to sell something. In 1985, Pan Am sold its Pacific operations, including route rights, to United Airlines. Reported at approximately $750 million. But this was like a drug. Short-term cash was obtained, but future revenue sources were lost. Pan Am began cutting off its own wings. December 21, 1988. 7:03 p.m. Pan Am Flight 103 departed London Heathrow Airport. Destination, New York. Passengers, 243. Crew, 16. 7:19 p.m. Over Scotland, at 31,000 feet. Suddenly, an explosion. The aircraft disintegrated in mid-air. Debris rained down on the small Scottish town of Lockerbie. Flames engulfed homes. 11 residents were caught in the destruction. All 259 aboard died, along with 11 on the ground. Total, 270 dead. Later investigation revealed a bomb had been planted, eventually attributed to Libyan agents. The Lockerbie incident destroyed Pan Am. Lawsuits flooded in. Damage claims from victims, families. Pan Am neglected security. Pan Am fought desperately. This was terrorism, not our responsibility. But the jury was cold. After Lockerbie, multiple lawsuits, settlements, and related costs accumulated. Total burden reported at hundreds of millions of dollars. Pan Am's stock price collapsed. More devastating was the collapse of trust. People began to fear Pan Am. Pan Am isn't safe. Reservations were canceled in waves. Load factors plummeted. The airline once called the hotel in the sky was now called the coffin in the sky. The Lockerbie incident's investigation, prosecution, and diplomatic resolution continued, never fully closed as a historical matter. International aviation security standards continue to be updated based on lessons from this era. January 8, 1991. Pan Am CEO Thomas Plaskett held a press conference. Today, Pan American Airways has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Reporters gasped. Total debt, approximately $900 million. Cash, nearly depleted. The wings that once flew around the world touched ground. December 4, 1991. Pan Am ceased operations, and the final flight landed. For 64 years, Pan Am flew the skies. The world's first scheduled international passenger service. Trans-Pacific flights. Transatlantic flights. The jumbo jet. Without Pan Am, today's aviation industry wouldn't exist. But on December 4, 1991, everything ended. Assets were sold. Routes were transferred to other carriers. 500 employees lost their jobs. Pan Am's brand vanished. Kennedy Airport's terminal stood empty. The blue and white logo was torn down. No trace remained of the airline once called Queen of the Skies. So what can we learn from this story? First, regulation can sometimes protect industries. Deregulation creates competition. Competition creates efficiency. But competition can also kill giants. Pan Am was king of the regulated era. But in the free market, the old business model didn't work. Second, glorious history doesn't guarantee the future. Pan Am dominated the skies for 64 years. But that history couldn't prevent bankruptcy. Those who rely on past glory can't adapt to change. Third, even brands die. Pan Am was once the most trusted name in the world. But a single terrorist incident destroyed that trust. Brands take decades to build, but can be lost in an instant. Finally, those who can't adapt disappear. When markets change, companies that can't change perish. Deregulation, fuel crisis, terrorism. Pan Am couldn't adapt to any of it. In 2024, even the low-cost carriers that once cornered Pan Am face bankruptcy crises from fuel cost surges and intensified competition. History repeats itself in different forms. So I ask you, history only tells results, but those living it don't know the outcome. If you were Pan Am's management in 1978, how would you have responded to the wave of deregulation? Why do companies with glorious histories fail to adapt? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Pan Am's story is a warning to all business leaders. This channel explores history's turning points to uncover strategic wisdom for today. If you want to learn from the rise and fall of companies and apply it to your own decisions, subscribe and turn on notifications. Share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time.